All right, guys. I haven't done this in a while. It's been a hot minute. It's been a little bit. I mean, I've done those reviews. Well, not the reviews. I've done the reactions, as you guys have seen. Which, first off, thank you so much for all the support you guys have given me. It has been insane what you guys have been doing. That is so amazing. Thank you guys so much for that. First off. Second off, Five Nights at Freddy's. So, I have not played the games. I haven't played the games. I haven't. I don't know about the lore. I don't know a lot about this game at all. You know, I knew it was a scary game going into it, and I don't know a lot about the movie. So I just watched it on Peacock. It is streaming on Peacock right now, also in theaters as well. Guess depends on how you like to watch your movies, of course. But of course, the movie stars Josh Hutcherson, which, if you're a '90s baby like me, you know Josh Hutcherson has been in so many movies growing up with us. I'm 27, bro. So all those movies he's been in, bro, it's like he's grown up with us almost, if I'm being real with you. And the thing is, he looks exactly like he did as a kid with shorter hair and facial hair. That's all I see it as. Little 5 o'clock shadow going on. That's all I see it as. But Five Nights at Freddy's, man. So, you know, I don't know. Like, normally I give a quick play-by-play of how the movie went, how, like, the story behind it and everything, like the plot. I don't remember that much about the movie, if I'm going to be honest. But pretty much for the most part, Mike, that's the name of the character. He is, you know, a troubled guy going through a lot, takes care of his sister, just dealing with a lot, really trying to keep custody of his sister because his aunt wants to take her from him. So he gets a job at this old pizzeria, Freddy Fazbear's, which is an old pizzeria back in the 80s. They had some bad things going on, and while he's in the and while he's doing his first night there, a couple of weird things are going on. And also during the movie, they do kind of like weird little dreams of his, kind of showing his brother being abducted, kind of thing. So and that was like a main point throughout the entire movie, was his brother being abducted. So he ends up actually I skipped the part. He actually ends up getting a job at Freddy Fazbear's. So after that, cool, whatever. So come to find out, his aunt is actually plotting something against him, wanting to take the girl, wanting to take his sister from him just so she can get a check from the state, which is fucked up. Fucked up, fuck you, bitch. It's really messed up that she's doing that. But overall, the next thing to happen is that the girl that watches his sister for him, Max, is actually working with his aunt. Her and her brother are working with his aunt to try to find some dirt on him. They can't find anything. So they go to Freddy Fazbear's and they're like, you know what? We're going to trash this bitch. We're going to trash it, destroy it, do anything we can to get him in trouble, to make him lose his job so he loses her. So they're like, yeah, we'll do it. $2,000. She's like, $1,000 and you better make it happen. Fuck you, bitch. So they go to trash it, and of course, all the animals start coming to life, bro. Like they're like animatronic robots. If you've seen the previews for it, you know they're big robots, kind of thing you see at the weird like Gettyland. I don't know if that. Do you have Gettyland? A different place. I live in Louisville, Kentucky. We have Gettyland, but definitely a Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing. It's kind of what it was like, some animatronic robots that move around, things like that sing and things like that. But they start getting attacked by the robots, pretty much. Wild as hell, of course. And then the movie progresses a little bit more. And the thing that I didn't like about this was that I feel like they didn't focus on the lore of Freddy Fazbear as much. They just focused on Mike, his sister, and also the cop he met, Vanessa. They focused on those three characters a lot throughout the movie. I think that's the only thing I had an issue with. They didn't focus a lot on the lore or the background of Freddy Fazbear's. So eventually, after Max and her brother, they go to do it, they get attacked, they're killed, they're dead. So he has to take Abby, his sister. I think is her name Abby? Pretty sure her name's Abby. He has to take Abby with him to work. Eventually, she gets woken up by this little boy saying, Abby. Which, hell no. Could not be me, Chief. Could not be me. But he and like the thing is that it's weird because like he sleeps at work a lot because he explains later on in the movie that he sleeps a lot because he feels a heavy connection to that scene and time where his brother was abducted. So I guess he's using that as like a way to like connect with that dream to figure out what happened to him, because it's really traumatic for him to know that his brother was taken, he was there, and there's nothing he could do about it. His dad left, his mom eventually died, his mom eventually passed away, so it's just him and his sister, literally. But Abby eventually gets woken up by the little boy, and they go sorry, I think my cats are doing something again, but she goes and she actually finds the robots, and they're like being really nice with her, things like that. And of course, he's freaked out by it. The cop Vanessa, she already knew about it, of course, because why not? And eventually, they all start having like a party. It's really odd. I don't know. That part was really weird to me. And the movie progresses a little bit more. And overall, I mean, it's kind of a mid movie. If I'm gonna be real with you guys, man, it's kind of mid. It's kind of mid. The biggest thing at the end was that the guy who hired him to work at Freddy Fazbear's was ultimately the guy who abducted the little kids and caused them to pretty much haunt the entire fucking pizzeria. That's why all that shit's going on. Because it's like, at first they thought it was the little kids' ghosts possessing the robots. No, their little bodies are inside of it, and yeah, they're being possessed by it. So, and the guy who hired him to do it is the one who abducted the kids, but also he's the cop's dad. I mean, a little bit of a twist. But, I mean, eventually they convince the robots and the kids to show them, like, hey, you know, remember what happened? Because the kids actually forgot what happened to them, which is a big thing on why they were not really understanding. They weren't really siding with, of course, Mike, Abby, and Vanessa. They weren't really siding with them at all. They were trying to kill them. But eventually they did remind them of what happened. They take William out. William's the name of the bad guy. And I don't know, man. If I'm being real with you guys, the movie was kind of mid. You know, like I said, they really focused on they really focused on just Mike, Abby, and Vanessa, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But if you're gonna give me a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which I don't know a lot about it once I like again, but if I'm going into it not knowing a lot, I got more invested in Mike's life than the lives of the kids that were abducted or the pizzeria or anything about it. Which that should be the main point of the movie. That should be what we're talking about. We should be talking about that over there. But instead, we're more worried about if Mike's going to keep Abby, you know, if he's going to keep Abby and not allow the aunt to take from him, or just like what's going on with them. Like pretty much, we don't get no background into the lore of Freddy Fazbear's. I think that's the part that really irritated me, that didn't really make much sense to me. I feel like we could have had a lot more out of this movie, honestly. You know, I've seen a lot of reviews, well, not a lot of reviews, I've seen a lot of people say like Rotten Tomatoes didn't give it a good review. I think IGN gave it a 4. I know on my Facebook I posted, I said it was a 7.5 out of 10. It's even lower than that, man, if I'm being real with you. And I'm really being nice about this movie, because I mean, like, I like to keep open minds when I go to see movies. So honestly, not a 7.5. I have to give it a 6 out of 10. The movie was good. If this wasn't Five Nights at Freddy's, I bet you it would have been a good movie. Because that's the thing when you do adaptations, is that they are held to a higher standard. Just because you have something to bounce off of, or you have something to compare to. So I feel like when it comes to adaptations, you have a lot harder of criticism, because people are going to look at what you have here compared to what you're doing now, which is why so many superhero movies, video game adaptations, book adaptations, you know, Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Marvel, DC, you know, all those things are harshly criticized, because there's a main source of something to call back to, something like an adaptation. You have something to call back to that it jump padded off of. So I think that's why so many things are criticized nowadays as far as those go. But for this, like I said, I've never played the games, so I can't judge anything. I'm just judging based off the movie in itself. I would have liked to see more about Freddy Fazbear's. I heard they're possibly doing more sequels if this one does well. This one's hard. This one mainly is going to be on the backs of a lot of diehard fans, if I'm being real. I don't see this as a trilogy, if I'm being real. I don't see that happening. I'm going to tell you this also. This would have been a lot better if it was a show rather than a movie. And I say that because they could have not strung it out more, because I'm going to tell you right now, the movie was about an hour and 50 minutes. It didn't feel like that. It felt a lot longer. So I would have rather them took their time to tell a story, broken it up into like 45-minute episodes, and gave me a six to 8 episode season. That would have been fire. That would have been cool. But I feel like they didn't rush it. I just feel like they didn't focus on the best parts. They focus more on the characters rather than the lore. Because the lore, I seen a comment on Facebook that the lore is what made this franchise so popular. You know, it's what made this franchise so popular. And I feel like they should have definitely looked at that a little bit more than to just focus on your characters. I mean, focusing on your characters is fine. That's completely okay. And I'm not sure if that's how the movie plays out. Excuse me. But I know that for me, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them focus a little bit more on the background of Freddy, kind of going into, I mean, because yeah, you know that they were kids who were abducted, murdered, and their bodies were left inside of the robots. You know that because they told you that in the movie. But I wanted to see, I kind of hope they do a prequel almost. That would be really nice. A prequel would be really, really nice because I feel like they have a lot to do with it. And you know, Matthew Lillard was also in the movie as well. He did a great job as the villain. And you know, it's Matthew Lillard. Come on now. We all know he's an amazing actor. There's nothing to take away from him at that point. But I just feel like they should have focused it a little bit differently as far as like where they were trying to go in this movie. But so far, I mean, my personal opinion is 6 out of 10. Is it a flop? Depends on how you look at it. I don't think it's necessarily a flop. I think it's more along the lines of how much do you care about the franchise, how much are you invested in the franchise, and where are your tastes as far as movies go. I think that's the biggest things. I think it's the biggest criticisms when you go into it. Because, I mean, you got the who, what, when, where, how. You got all those things. But at the end of the day, is this a good movie? That's what you have to ask yourself. Is this a good movie? It's an okay movie. Would I have seen this in theaters? Hell no. No, I wouldn't have seen this in theaters. Which is exactly why I said it would be way better off as a show rather than a movie, personally. It's just my opinions. It's just Roddy's reviews, man. But that's all I got right now, man. That's all I got right now. That movie was okay, 6 out of 10. It's on Peacock. If you want to spend your money and you have Peacock or you can share somebody else's, watch it. I definitely recommend it, doing that. But that's all I got right now, man. Thank you guys so much for watching this. This is my first review in a while. We're going to try to get back on it. I'm going to try to be more consistent. You guys have been running it up like crazy on these reaction videos, and I cannot thank you guys enough. So thank you so much for the support. Until next time, I'm Roddy, and I'm out of here.